Hello guys, welcome back to Britton Farms Homestead. Today I am going to teach you about companion planting. Companion planting is a great way to take care of your plants and deter pests and not have to use pesticides. Come on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And again, it's basil that is going to go close to our tomatoes to throw off the smell of the tomatoes, because hawk moths track down your tomatoes by smell. And basil smells strong, along with marigolds. We're gonna have some marigolds too. Now we're gonna start nasturtiums, which nasturtiums, you plant them on the border of your garden. They're a sacrifice crop. Aphids love them more than your tomatoes and your squash, and so do squash bugs. So we're gonna start those. So today we're also gonna be planting nasturtiums. And the idea behind this is that nasturtiums are used as a trap crop. You plant these around your squash and your tomatoes, anything that would aphids would like, or squash bugs. The squash bugs and the aphids would go to the nasturtiums, and it would be a trap crop for them and go there instead of your squash or your tomatoes. And it's kind of like sacrificing these seeds for these plants for your squash or your tomatoes, and I'm okay with that. When we plant these nasturtiums, we don't want to plant them right next to our squash or right next to our tomatoes. We want to put it on the outskirts of our garden. Maybe like around the edges of the garden, so the aphids and black flies and things like that will go there instead of coming in to the tomatoes and the squash. So that's kind of how a trap crop works. Sorry, I'm having problems with words today. You kind of sacrifice, it's a sacrificial plant for plants that you don't want to be killed by the bugs. So now we got our plug trays here filled up with the dirt. I'm fixing to just water it, and then we're gonna plant our companion plants in these plug planters. And as you can see, these plug planters are just plug planters, which means as soon as they get about an inch, 2 inch tall, they're gonna have to come out of this. But our last frost date was day before yesterday, and last night or this morning we had a frost on the ground. So about a week and we can put this stuff out in the ground, so it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna wet the soil and plant our basil, our marigolds, and our nasturtiums. So I've wet my soil, I'm just letting it drain out. These have good drainage. I just use my watering can here to wet the soil, and then we're gonna poke holes and we're gonna plant them. Here's my highly technical tool here, just a stick that I'm gonna use to poke holes in the dirt there. So I ended up with a whole tray of basil, and I put 4 or 5 seeds in each thing. So now I'm just gonna take a little bit of dirt, sprinkle over the top. Gonna label it. This is a piece of a blind. If you need to get cheap labels, you can take a blind that goes in your window. You can find them at the thrift store, or maybe you have some old ones you're not going to use anymore, and they're plastic. You just cut them, write on them with a magic marker or a Sharpie, and then just stick it in there, and that's super cheap labels for your plants, and they usually work until you get them out of the trays. Also, if you want to know what kind of basil we're planting, it's sweet Italian basil. Seeds are super cheap at the dollar store. And I guess there's probably, 3 packs in here that I put. But anyway, this is the seeds we're using. I'm fixing to put some dirt over the top, stick our label in. You're just going to take dirt, lightly put it over the top to cover those seeds. And there you go, we've got our first companion plant planted. And again, it's basil that is gonna go close to our tomatoes to throw off the smell of the tomatoes, because hawk moths track down your tomatoes by smell, and basil smells strong, along with marigolds. We're gonna have some marigolds too. Now we're gonna start nasturtiums, which nasturtiums, you plant them on the border of your garden. They're a sacrifice crop. Aphids love them more than your tomatoes and your squash, and so do squash bugs. So we're gonna start those, and that's all, guys. If you're liking what you're seeing, go ahead, subscribe, like, hit that bell notification. I hope you found some good ideas or things out of this video. Companion planting is the way to go. No chemicals, and it helps with the pest. And every gardener knows that weed control and pests are our worst enemies. So I hope you can use this. Start some companion planting and use less chemicals. If you have a companion plant that you use and you want to let me know about it, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you and know what you use for companion planting. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.